Welcome back. Today we are looking at how to edit a page in the back end of your studio website. We're going to be looking at pages, how the page editor works, how to edit content on your pages, and how to create new pages. So from your studio, once you've logged in, you will click on structure, then you will click on pages, and then you'll have a list of all of your pages. Today, we're going to be looking at the history page. So this should look pretty familiar and straightforward. You can set the page title here. You can also make the page a child of another page. So for example, this one belongs under about. So we've set the parent page, and then you can see up here, the URL shows up, as well as the slug, which is just the link version of the page title, includes the about title as well. Then we've got the page content and the background image. Now, this might look a little bit different than what you're used to. If you've used WordPress or Wix or Weebly or Squarespace to edit your website, you might be used to seeing a lot of visual controls that ask you to make decisions about what your page is going to look like. What color should the text be? Should the buttons have rounded corners? Those sorts of questions. We've intentionally gone in a different direction for Studio. This content editor is designed to make it as easy as possible for you to add what you want to say and not have to worry about what it's going to look like. Our promise to you is you should be able to add anything to this content field, and our software and theme is going to take care of making sure it looks beautiful, that it looks cohesive, that it all looks like the same site. So let's jump in here and take a closer look. From your content editor, you can add text. We've got that right here. You can add different styles of text. For example, if we wanted to add a heading, this is a heading. We can do that. If we wanted to break something out and add a block quote, we can easily do that. But what if you want to add something a little bit more detailed to a page? Maybe you want to add more rich content. That's what these blocks are for. So again, this is going to be a little bit different than the drag and drop visual editors that are common in other site builders, but there are a great number of blocks available here. The difference is we're not going to ask you to decide what they're going to look like. You just need to add a form to your page. You don't need to decide what size should the form be, what color should the text be. Those sorts of decisions are just going to slow you down. So you can add any of these blocks to the page here, and they will look good next to each other, next to text, and they'll look like they belong to the rest of the site. So it's very easy for you to add and update pages without changing the overall look and feel of the site. Now, we've got all sorts of blocks to look at here. Our help documentation has a great level of detail about each one of them, what every field on them does. We're not going to get into that level of detail on this video, but what I can show you is most of these blocks fall into two different categories. Some blocks are going to let you pull content from other parts of the site. For example, if you want to show some of your events on a page, or you want to feature some resources on a page, or you want to embed a form or a person on a page. Those are going to let you pull data from other parts of the site, right? From people, from events, from resources, from forms. Then we have blocks that are more presentational. They're going to let you display content in a creative way. For example, the accordion is going to let you show a collapsible series of boxes to list an FAQ section or a what to expect section, something like that. The columns block is going to let you make more complex layouts. Highlight blocks are like big fancy links that have a background image and a subtitle, and they're just a more creative way to show what's essentially a link to another page. So we have several blocks in here: image with content, image gallery, highlight blocks, and columns, accordions, buttons, heroes, things like that. Those are going to let you display regular content a little bit more creatively. Our clients have made a lot of awesome things with the Toolkit Studio content editor. And what we encourage people to do is just hop in here and give it a try, see what you can do, and publish some changes, and then see what they look like. So studio sites are compiled sites. Changes aren't going to show up on the front end right away. It may take a couple seconds or even minutes for those changes to appear. That's because we compile a static version of the site when you click publish, and that loads super fast for mobile phones and for SEO crawlers. So if you do want to test out what something's going to look like on the front end, you can use preview mode, either turn it on here or here, to take a look at what your page is going to look like before you publish. So that's available to you. Also, it's very hard to delete something permanently on Studio. So if you're making changes to a page and you mess up, don't worry about it. Just click up here on this menu and click history, and you can see the previous versions of this particular page that have been published. So when you click one of these, you will get the content in gray, and you'll have this gold button, revert to revision. So that will let you revert back to whichever version you want to publish. So even if you make a mistake, you can always roll back your changes. It's very difficult to make any sort of permanent mistakes on here. We tried to make it as user-friendly as possible. So that's a little bit about how to edit pages and how our block editor works. In the next video, we're going to take a look at editing and updating your homepage, which works a little bit differently because there are some extra features available for the homepage specifically.